Okay, you're watching New Car Spin, also known as Road and Tracked. We are at Panther Creek and Legacy here in Frisco, and I want to get into my real estate hat real quick here and explain a couple things, because I do real estate in the northern Dallas to Oklahoma. Some people may call this Oklahoma, even though it's Frisco. And what I've been noticing lately are homes hitting the market real hard, and then price drops happening because everybody's trying to compete now, and other people may be freaking out. And we'll go through this neighborhood. Look at this ridiculous neighborhood. These houses are $2.2 million, and they are right on top of each other like postage stamps. Look at that. That's a hard pass. Anyway, you could see why so many homes are for sale, but you'd be wondering why, if they just moved here or if they've only been here for a short time, why is everyone selling? And there's a couple things related to that. And it's kind of like the metaphor right in front of us, actually. See, the road is running out, okay? And the road I'm talking about is the affordability aspect. Now, I know there's a ton of YouTube videos out there of these real estate guys and this and that, like talking. There's a really cool chick on YouTube who talks about how she's a auctioneer in Georgia, and she's like double the values because the numbers that you see about foreclosures and notices and that are double what you see is reported, and they're always like 2 months behind. But I'm looking around here. Look at this. You see this? We've got like new construction, and they can't build them fast enough because basically they have a contract and they're like, oh my god, we gotta fix this, we gotta close because the funding has to be done. And that's basically what they do, is they rush their job. And that's why you see all these Instagrams and TikToks of these home inspectors saying, you know, the building company won't allow them to inspect the homes, and they're basically getting harassed by the construction guys. It's basically a mad rush. Real estate here has just been bonkers. And I don't represent sellers. I am a buyer's agent. So if you're looking to buy, I'm the kind of person that would help you. But I wouldn't help you buy here. Not at all. Not a chance. And there's a problem with this, because not that this is a bad neighborhood or anything, but in this particular situation, right, you're seeing homes in Florida, Colorado, California, other states, pretty much basically everywhere. Ooh, look at that classic 190. Dang. What's going on around here is people are getting priced out. Even in the home they can afford, that they can move into, they're immediately getting priced out. So at $2.2 million, let's just say generous property tax is 3%. You're looking at $45,000, $60,000 a year in property tax. So there's a mad rush to neighborhoods like this from wealthy people, because, well, the people that are going to be living here are people just like everybody else that lives here. It's sort of like a bubble, and not a fiscal bubble or financial bubble, but more or less like you don't know who your neighbors are yet, but you kind of do, based on the fact that they have to pay up. You got to pay to play to do anything around here, which is not a bad thing. I'll get through the traffic. So the biggest deal here is, once you get your property tax bill, you're starting to see reality hit you in the face. It's more like a punch in the face too when you get your insurance bill, because your deductible is going to be 2%. 2% of $2 million is $40,000. So, well, how much do you think a new roof costs? Your deductible is basically the same cost of a new roof, like that one right there. So the deal here is you're going to be paying a lot for something that you're really not going to actually use. And when it comes to insurance and when it comes to property tax, what's going to start happening is, let's just say you got a sweet deal. You got 1.9% or 3% mortgages, which don't exist anymore, But there are people out there that do have those kinds of deals, and they're fixed rates for 30 years. And it sounds like they're the king of the countryside, but the reality is those property tax bills and those insurance bills, if you're not fully like 25% equity or more in your home, if you're leveraged on that property, which you should be, your monthly payment on your mortgage is going to go up. So let's just say you had a 3.5% mortgage and right now we're at 7%. It may seem like you got this good deal, but everyone pays for insurance. Everyone gets their insurance impounded. And homes like this, at this price range, oh, easily $16,000 a year. So just imagine what happens when you start moving around and you look around and you realize you're stuck in a neighborhood like this, or the neighborhood you're in now, and you might have a great rate, but your monthly payment is just impossible to maintain. That's what's going on. These monthly payments are becoming outrageous. The only thing you're immune from is if you've actually been able to pay cash for your house, and some of these buyers actually do have that kind of cash. And so you look around and you go, well, rates are going to go down for sure. I'm going to disagree with you, because you can see the amount of houses here that are being built and that are actually sold, and that are still these lots that are for sale. But you've got some stuff around here where you just have to go, okay, rates have to go up because the spending hasn't stopped. And the reason why rates go up is to slow down and cool this kind of crap. And it's not slowing down and it's not cooling. So my take is, if you're a buyer, you need to wait at least through December of 2024 and wait for this stuff to kind of flush out, wait for these deals to fall out. And the scary downside is the older homes, like the ones across the way there, you know, people who are comfortable with their mortgage payment, once they get hit with that new insurance bill, their tax bill doesn't really change much anymore, but their taxes over there are already $30,000 a year. Well, once their home insurance goes up, which is impounded, let's just say you can't afford your insurance payment, you can't make your mortgage payment, and that's the fall that's going to happen. People in any neighborhood are going to have a problem making their monthly payment on their mortgage, and this is what I would call a shakeout. And the reason for this is because the bank will happily foreclose on your house or your neighbor there across the street, because that house is still worth, $1.8 million. If these are selling, they're still selling for 2.2 cash. And so rates won't go down. Don't wait for rates to go down. What you're going to see is you're going to see homes hitting the market as distress sales, and you're going to see banks trying to foreclose, although the auctioneer in Georgia is saying they're not even foreclosing, because that's how they keep these house prices elevated. So there's a big game going on here, in my opinion, and that game is basically a shell game. Whoever gets caught holding that bag is the one that's owning the home last. So it's a hot potato at this very moment. And then you may ask, well, what about the Airbnbs? Well, what makes you think that the Airbnb owner is actually making their mortgage payment, right? They'd rather much be making $5,000-$6,000 a month and not having to pay a mortgage. At the very last scenario, let's just say they have several homes that they can't keep up with. You might as well make as much as you can and pocket the cash and skip town, because that's the only way you're going to get off the hook. If you're going to try and sell your property, you're going to have to compete, and that takes time. All these things start really coming into a grinding halt, and I think that that's where you're going to end up seeing deals to be had. It's just not yet. There are no deals yet. So that's my take on this real estate situation. Currently we are in Frisco, right near PGA. We're at a place called Fields, and basically once we come to December, you're going to start seeing the reality hit for all these homeowners, because the insurance payments the property tax payments. You know, it's just a full-time job just to pay to stay in that home. And this is when people are going to start realizing that they're screwed. You know, these homes were never meant to be in this price range, and people keep coming here and keep paying whatever, and the reality is you're not going to see rates drop if that continues to happen. Rates are not going to drop, so don't count on it. That's my opinion. And even if rates did drop, do you think these house prices are going to drop at that point? No. So if you're a buyer, if you're on the on the fence of buying, I'd tell you right now, hold off. But if you're interested in knowing more about the market, you could always leave this video a like and leave a comment, or you can contact me directly. I actually do have a business card, now that you've stayed along this long. It's a tap card, so if I tap it to my phone, nope, it won't work like that. You actually have to scan that QR code. I am with Fathom, and I do help people buy homes. So my first house, my property, I bought when I was 22 years old. I've had several properties across several states. This is not my first rodeo, especially financial crisis rodeo, if it starts to head this way. But one thing you need to know is I've also worked for a lot of banks, so I understand how the credit scoring system works. I'm actually trying to get my residential mortgage loan officer license, but credit applications for mortgages are at an all-time low, lower than 1995. So basically what I'm telling you is nobody is trying to put in the effort. No one's even trying. It's like texting and driving. No effort required, right? No one's trying to buy a home right now. And so what you're going to see is as more homes pop up on the market here, people are just going to have to keep dropping until they find the buyer. There are fewer buyers than sellers at this very moment. And I think you're going to watch the shift happen real quickly between a seller's market and a buyer's market. And the inventory and all that stuff is going to keep accumulating. But right now, we're kind of coming to this equilibrium between equal amount of sellers and buyers. Even though you don't see it, it's going to happen once those sellers are sold, they become buyers, right? So there's sort of a chain reaction supposedly supposed to be set up. But if those homes do not sell, if they keep marking their prices down, if they keep getting desperate, because people will have a hard time making a $15,000 insurance premium payment, especially when it's scattered across a mortgage payment that they can barely afford. You're going to start to see some interesting times come December. Today's July 10th, and you can note this video and haunt me with it later, or you can tell me I was right. Either way, you know, I'm here. You can contact me. I can help you out, and we can see what works. But if you're really interested in moving to Texas, you let me know. This is the DNT, of the Dallas North Tollway. We're actually heading south on North Tollway, and it'll pretty much be widened any year now. They've been working on this thing for 2 years, which is ridiculous. But they actually have crews out, which is amazing. And I'm also driving the 2025 Genesis GV80, which has been pretty nice. I like this interior. It's a good place to be. So I have to go drop something off, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.